Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of ATDC Radio, and this is going to be a fun one. I got with me right now Tommy Marshall, the Executive Director of the Georgia Fintech Academy. Welcome.
Thanks, Lee. Great to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about the Georgia Fintech Academy. How are you serving folks?
The Fintech Academy started about a year ago. I'm new to this role. I came on as the executive director, the inaugural executive director, I'm proud to say, just a month ago. And the intention of the Academy is to meet a measured demand for 5,000 to 6,000 Fintech-ready workers in Georgia every year. The university system heard this demand from the private sector community and stepped up and formed the Georgia Fintech Academy, and we started offering 5 courses to students the beginning of the fall semester of last year. And as of today, we've got over 1,000 students that have taken at least one of the Fintech courses in the program.
Now, is the program going to give that student kind of some sort of certification in fintech? Is there some proof of expertise that they are fintech ready?
They're the students that take the 5 fintech undergraduate courses will be able to receive a concentration in fintech as part of their BS in business or their BS in computer science. So it is noted in their certifications as they graduate that they have that concentration. We are also working hard to add some additional courses to the undergraduate curriculum, and we're very excited that starting this spring of 2020, students throughout the system will be able to access these 5 courses through what is called eCampus, which is a digital learning platform that allows students to engage through electronically, virtually with the classroom curriculum.
So you can take them all online?
Mm-hmm. There's different modalities. Some involve what we call our synchronous, meaning that the student at particular times will need to log into the platform so that they can interact with the professor or some other classmates. There are some additional modalities that are what we call asynchronous, which means they can kind of move completely at their own pace and not have to come in at a particular time to a session for interaction. So we've really created a diverse set of modalities, hoping to meet the broadest set of student preferences in terms of learning.
So now talk about the fintech ecosystem that's here from the business side. Like, what is the what's happening in that world now? Yeah. What's happening here in Georgia that makes it unique that would require us having a fintech academy?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, I think there are, I know for a fact, there are over 160 fintech companies in Georgia, public and private. We've got very large fintech companies. NCR, for example, we're sitting about 100 yards from their global headquarters. And then, as many I think have been following the news, there's been some really massive fintech mergers here in Georgia just in the last 12 months. So FIS acquired a company called WorldPay. That's a $47 billion combination. TSYS and Global Payments have combined at around $24 billion. And then Fiserv and First Data, also a $40+ billion combination. So you have those 3 very significant tie-ups that drive a remarkable amount of employment opportunity here in the state of Georgia. NCR, Equifax, Invesco now in their combination with Oppenheimer's over $1 trillion in assets under management. And then we've got really significant middle market fintech companies. For instance, Payscape just went through a couple of different combinations that were private equity driven that have made them a company that is into the multi-hundreds, maybe even over 1,000 in terms of employees. And then, of course, here in ATDC, where we're sitting right now, we have 111 fintech companies in our Fintech Catalyst at ATDC, and 32 that are at the accelerate and signature levels, meaning that they're producing revenue and in market with product service.
Now, what makes Georgia, or a lot of it in Atlanta, such a fintech hub?
A lot of it goes back about 30 years when there was some legislation that was passed that made Georgia a particularly attractive place to build a payment services business. And that's why you saw companies like what is now called Fiserv, what is now called First Data, or what is now called FIS, TSYS Global Payments, building their businesses here. And that payments activity, I'd say, really was the initial kindling that built what is now a remarkable fire of fintech throughout our community. Started with payments. We've expanded meaningfully in the last 10 years into alternative lending. You think of companies like Cabbage, Lending USA, Lending Point, Green Sky Financial, all significant businesses, well over $1 billion in valuation, particularly when I think of Green Sky Financial and Cabbage. We've got cryptocurrency with BitPay, which is now an 8-year-old company that started 2 years after the birth of Bitcoin. It is the largest acquirer of cryptocurrency payments in the world, and based here in Georgia, founded by 2 Georgia Tech grads. And then when you think about capital markets, we have the Intercontinental Exchange, which is the owner of the New York Stock Exchange. Love to remind my friends in New York City of that fact when I am on Wall Street.
When you're ringing the bell.
When I'm ringing the bell, I'm like, hey. So Intercontinental Exchange not only operates New York Stock Exchange, but a significant number of other marketplaces, and is also worth mentioning that they've just started a new company called Bakkt, BAKKT, that is an exchange for an institutional marketplace to buy and sell whole Bitcoin, which is another very remarkable business that was funded with $180 million of venture capital that was raised a year ago, and they just launched Bakkt in the last couple of months. So, and then there's areas we haven't even touched on, meaning insurance, in particular, of course, Aflac, being right here in Columbus, is a significant national player in the life insurance space.
Now, are there fintech academies in other states?
There's not. This is a unique proposition that we've created here in Georgia. There's fintech classes that are or courses that are taught by the likes of Stanford, MIT, NYU, Harvard, Oxford, that are typically offered on a kind of executive education, professional education basis. Duke, the Pratt School of Engineering at Duke, announced just recently that they're going to have a master's in engineering in fintech that will go live this coming fall, so fall of 2020. So there's schools that are absolutely building courses and master's degrees around this topic area, but there's no other state in the union that has created a academy of the scope and scale that we have created here and that we're envisioning here.
Now, is the curriculum driven by smart academics, or are they getting kind of the expertise from all of those business people that are having the needs and are doing the innovation? Like, how is the curriculum being developed?
Yes, the folks on point for building the curriculum are the professors at many of our institutions here, and that's the way it should be. They're the pros in education. They get meaningful amounts of input from the private sector, and that's part of my job, is to help broker those interactions.
You're the bridge that's like,
yes.
If the fintech companies are saying, look, we need somebody to solve this kind of cybersecurity, and cybersecurity is keeping me up at night, so I need some more bodies here.
Yes.
Can we get some curriculum around cybersecurity?
Yeah, they're coming to me, and I'm helping to make that help that voice be heard in the appropriate channels throughout the university system, and allow for those inputs to come. And our goal is to really help the fintech companies understand that this is a window that they have access to and can come to have inputs into curriculum, to have inputs into the development of professional education, but also to come with research requests. We have some of the best research institutions in the world in our university system, and there are some very involved research efforts already underway to serve the fintech industry. And so I'd like for companies to be coming to the Fintech Academy saying, hey, I've got X research problem. Let me help you understand that. And then I, along with our team, can help turn to the right folks in the various research institutions that are part of our system to work on that, give them a proposal, work on it, and ultimately get engaged to help address the research problem.
Now, how do you know you're doing a good job? What's the thing that for you, what's the metrics that matter for you that you know that, you're high-fiving your team at the end of the year or the month or the quarter?
Yeah, I think number one is we're getting great opportunities for the students in the university system. So I will feel great as we are not just exposing students to those opportunities, but of course seeing the ever increasing flow of the rate of hiring by the companies. And it's no secret that there's a war on talent. I mean, every one of these fintech companies is very much. In fact, I was with the CEO of one of the companies this morning at breakfast, and he was like, Tommy, the war on talent has gotten so acute that I can't even retain my worst people.
Right. It's negative unemployment.
Yeah.
Right.
And
the jobs are happening because they're taking somebody from a job.
Yeah.
That's how they're hiring.
And so they really, it's not going to be this way forever, but there's certainly going to, as far as I think we can see and imagine, there's going to be a need for great new talent, hungry to support this industry. And I don't think no one will contest that the future for financial technology businesses is very, very, very bright. So we know we've got our work cut out for us in terms of serving the demand of the private sector. And what's very exciting too is that students are super excited about this area of this business, and they understand it through the lens of their lives. There's many of the college students today, they kind of moved through their teenage years using applications like PayPal and Venmo, and it's very much part of their everyday lives. They know what Acorns is. They're using that. When you say investments, they think Robinhood. They have played around with cryptocurrency. I mean, they are ever more present in the middle of what we think of as financial technology from all of these various applications that are before them.
So now what's on your roadmap for 2020? How are you going to expand this? Is it going to stay at 5 courses, or is it going to expand? What's your kind of dream here?
Our big focus through the rest of this, our fiscal year, I guess our school year, is how we pace ourselves. Right. So think, we're about to wrap up the first semester. Right. Enrollment is open for the spring semester. So we'd like to see our enrollment in the Fintech Academy move up from around 200, 220 for this past semester to hopefully closer to 300 for the next semester. And so we'd love to see that. We have to get the professional education courses built here in the first quarter of 2020, so the first part of the spring semester. We'd like to be offering at least 2 to 3 professional education courses to the marketplace starting this summer. Then we'll be executing on plan throughout the into the next school year of building further professional ed. We want to get that whole research concept I was talking about earlier really kicked off, and if we could get the first 1 or 2 research projects flowing through that capability in the next 12 months, that will be a success.
So you need some of these enterprise companies to put forth some of what they want to tap into the research, and then kind of work and partner with the different schools to kind of do the research. That's so you need some of them to kind of raise their hand and say, hey, let's do research around this.
That's right.
And then you need students to kind of become aware of this so that they start taking the courses and start getting involved in the academy as well.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
So it's a chicken and egg.
Mm-hmm. There is chicken and egg. And there's been really good work done raising the awareness with the students. We've had a variety of different events. We've been communicating aggressively through all the student success channels that
you're
exist
showing what
on
the salaries
campus.
are.
Yeah, that helps.
That's not going to take a lot of salesmanship
you're like,
there.
oh yeah, blockchain engineer, $80,000.
Right.
Whoa.
You know where your friend is. You know and what you're going to make.
And there's been really some meaningful internships and students that have gone into the fintech field that are coming back and talking to their, friends that were underclassmen that are now senior. I mean, you just think about those natural patterns of how students will interact, and once they graduate,
they network. So,
and so which is all that's happening, and it's so our idea is, can we have the Georgia Fintech Academy just amplify that? And so there's a bit too of, based on where we sit, and that we just are getting started. Really, there's students that have now worked at a Cabbage for the last couple of years, or they've been working at NCR for the last couple of years, and so we need those who are now employees of those companies to now understand that the Fintech Academy is a place where we're looking to corral not these alums, but also the students.
And they become ambassadors for the program to kind of get the next generation going.
Exactly. So you just think about how, probably what a lot of our own college experiences were, and then we moved into employment, and, there's a bridge there, and staying close to friends and sharing ideas and taking advantage of alumni and getting alumni tied in with the Georgia Fintech Academy that are doing fintech jobs. There's a lot of great opportunities there to just improve the communication, the understanding, the engagement with these fintech companies. So those are all levers we're looking to pull and points of engagement we're looking to take advantage of.
And if somebody wants to learn more, what's the website?
GeorgiaFintechAcademy.org.
Good stuff. Well, Tommy, thank you so much for taking on this project. This is super important for the state. It's super important for a lot of these kids, but also for the consumers out there to get this right and handle some of these challenges in the fintech world. These are big problems that need to be solved.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you again. We will see you all next time on ATDC Radio.